Hello, welcome back to Chef Aarti Sampath's channel. And today we are making one of my favorite dishes, momos. Well, I love dumplings, absolutely do. Whether it's the Chinese shalang bao or gyozas or of course the Indian momos. Well, I've made Asian dumplings and I do realize they all have a similar thread. It's either the skin is usually all-purpose flour, a little water, and the filling is usually something extremely flavorful, meat or vegetables with tons of scallions, ginger, maybe a couple of herbs. So I wanted to create my own dumpling slash momo version. We're doing two kinds today. We're doing a vegetarian version, which will have paneer, which is this Indian farmer's cheese, and it's gonna have some carrots, a lot of herbs, and one of our key flavors will be turmeric, fresh turmeric, right? And then we have a chicken dumpling, which will have a lot of flavor of cilantro. So let's get started. Our momo wrappers will be very flavorful today. So we're gonna do two different colors. There's a cilantro-based one and a turmeric-based one. So to get our dough ready, I'm taking a cup each, and then I'm using some Himalayan salt. As you can see, this is fresh turmeric and then it's been peeled and grated. So I'm using half the mixture in my dough and I'll use the other half in the filling. I'm adding a little lime zest. The wrapper is going to have the flavor of lime zest and fresh turmeric. I have my gloves on, just give this a good mix. And then to knead the dough, I'm using some warm water. Dumpling wrapper has to be a tight dough. And that's because we want to maintain a beautiful shape when we're shaping the dumplings. If it's too soft, it's not gonna work well. It's got this beautiful gold orange hue and specks of green. This dough smells absolutely divine. If your dough is too sticky, I would suggest adding maybe a tablespoon more of flour and just kneading it well. And now at this point, we're going to allow our dough to rest for up to 20 minutes. I got another bowl with some more flour and the salt. I've blended some cilantro with a touch of warm water, and you need to do this really quick before it changes color. And that goes into my flour. And then we'll knead away. I flavor the dough as well because I often find that the wrapper is tasteless, which is not bad, but I like to add as much flavor as I can. Just look at this gorgeous dough. You can see those little specks of cilantro. That makes me so happy. We'll make a smooth ball and then I'm gonna allow it to rest again. Let's make our first mixture, which is the vegetarian one. I have a bowl. I have my paneer. You could also use cottage cheese. I have 200 grams of paneer. I'm using tons of scallions, greens, the bulb, everything. And then I have carrot that I'm gonna grate into the mixture. I like the bite of carrots when I'm having a vegetable dumpling. I also have a little cabbage that I wanna chop real fine. The best way to cut it is first shred it real fine, and then we'll run the knife the other way. I've added the cabbage as well, and now it's time to season. I have the grated fresh turmeric to just reinforce that turmeric flavor. Have a little knob of ginger that I'm just gonna grate into it. I'm adding a clove of garlic that I'm grating in as well. Okay, now it's time to season it. Adding some freshly ground cumin powder. I'm also adding chili powder, some freshly ground coriander powder. I have salt. And then now it's time to give it a good mix. Just crushing the cottage cheese into little chunks. They don't have to be like a paste. All right, for our second mixture, which is with chicken, I've got my ground chicken right here. It has 80 to 20, which means 20% of fat. Fat makes your dumplings really juicy. To this, I'm seasoning it with some salt. Firstly, let's add some green chilies. And to this, I add ginger, and then I'm adding 2 cloves of garlic. I'm adding the spring onions or green onions that I diced earlier. And of course, our key flavor is the cilantro stems as well as the green part, and then juice of half a lime. And if you remember, we'd made garam masala in a previous video. I'm using that fragrant spice. A little goes a long way. It's just half a teaspoon of garam masala. And now it's time to mix. Now that I've portioned out the dough to up to 10 to 15 grams each, I've rolled them out really tight. We're gonna start filling the veggie dumplings. To start, I'm rolling out the edges first. You really want your edges to be as thin as possible. You see how gorgeous that looks? I'm sealing the edges with some water, just a touch, and then we seal. Momos have different shapes, just like Asian dumplings. I'm gonna do my favorite shape that holds maximum filling, which is right, it's pinch, pretty much a classic dumpling shape. Beautiful little pleats. Let's roll out the wrapper for the chicken dumpling. So I flatten out the portioned dough, dust it in a little flour, and then the same technique where I'm thinning out the edges first. I have my beautiful wrapper. I like a nice plump dumpling. So I have my chicken mixture right in the middle. I wet the edges, and then we're gonna gather the dough like so to their little parcels and just stick them together. It's time for us to cook our momos. Well, I have a couple of turmeric leaves. I've created a steamer with a pot, and it has a perforated pan that I've inverted inside. I'm using a couple of turmeric leaves right here. You could also use parchment. This will prevent the bottom of your dumplings from sticking. I have some boiling water that I'm just gonna put at the bottom of the pan, about 1 inch, which will help us create the steam. And I'm gonna steam my chicken dumplings. Just lay them out like that. And this should take about 10 to 12 minutes. We'll just put the lid on top. I will check back on it in 10 to 12 minutes. While the chicken dumplings are steaming, we're gonna cook off our veggie dumplings. Don't worry if you don't have a steamer or you don't wanna create one. We could also pan fry this like you would pan fry a gyoza. So I have a couple of tablespoons of oil. When that gets nice and hot, we don't want it to be scorching. We'll just place our dumplings like that. This is going to crisp up the bottom and steam the insides as well. And then I also pour in a little bit of water, and keep your lid handy. That'll allow it to steam inside. And this should take about 8 to 10 minutes. As our dumplings are just packed with so much flavor, I'm just about to make a very quick and simple sauce. For that, I'm taking some dark soy, taking a little vinegar. To that, I'm adding a diced chili, a little bit of cilantro along with the stems. And to just freshen up the sauce, I'm adding a little lime juice. And then just a little bit of sweetness. You could add sugar, but I'm using my favorite palm sugar. Give that a good mix. All right, I'm gonna check on my dumplings now. It's been around 8 minutes. Let's check on our veggie dumplings. Ooh, look at them. They look all so nice and plump. You can see how gorgeous the bottom is. And the top of the dumpling is super tender. And because we rolled out the edges, so they're super thin and not doughy. And it's plump because all those vegetables have cooked. It's gonna be super juicy. So I'm gonna give it a try. Oh, it's very hot. These dumplings are so mellow. You can taste that turmeric, very herby, earthy flavor. And of course that all those vegetables are still a little crunchy, super moist, tender, that creamy cheese inside, and all those herbs just come through. This is really, really good. It's been 12 minutes. Can't wait to try the chicken ones. Ooh, look at how glossy and glorious they look. The way I like to eat my chicken dumpling is kind of tear it open a little bit and pour some of that sauce inside. That cilantro flavor just hits you right in your face. So refreshing. That sauce adds a lot of acidity, and the chicken is just cooked so perfectly. It's so moist. Just look at that. Look at how juicy it is. It's just oozing with juice. I think this is the best dumpling I've ever made. I hope you enjoyed my Momo recipes, and I'm really hoping to see what you do with them. If you do make your own spin, please tag me on Instagram, Aarti Sampath, and please like and share. Definitely subscribe to Chef Aarti Sampath to see more content like this. Thank you so much.